Hi everyone, I just wanted to welcome you all to Philosophy 100. I'm really excited to be teaching the course. My name's Jason Sheely and I'll be the professor. So in this video what I wanted to do was explain how the course works, but then also give you some tips for success, especially if you have not taken an online course before. Alright, let's get started. Now the way our course is set up, you go over here to the left side and you'll find your syllabus, your announcements, the modules. That's where you're going to find the actual lessons, assignments, your grades, and so on. There's a few other features, but those are hidden from you right now. Now, the thing you definitely want to do is go over here to your account, and as it says here at the top of our screen, update your notifications to receive course announcements immediately. Hi everyone, it's me again, but the person you were just looking at was, well, that was me a year ago, and this is me now. And so I thought instead of making a brand new video for our classes, I thought I would just take the old one and re-edit it and comment on it a little bit. So a lot of things are still the same, but this time we are going to be teaching some of these courses in person, and so there's going to be some things that are still the same. A lot of the things from the online course applies, but some things are a little bit different. And so what I'll do as we go is me, a year later, will comment a little bit on some things I said a year ago. By the way, I just wanted to say once again that I'm still really excited to be working with all of you. And oh, by the way, welcome again. Next, I wanted to talk about office hours. In my course, the way I like to think of office hours are really student hours. This is time every day that I set aside just to answer student questions or talk to students. So I would say, please show up whenever you feel like it, whenever you can. It's always great, like for instance, if you have questions or if there's anything you need to chat about, it's a great way to reach me. Okay, that stuff's still true. To click the link or to go to office hours, you want to click the link that you'll find at the top of your web page. The hours may vary a little bit compared to last year, so check out the syllabus to find out more information. Next, let's talk about the modules or the lessons. How do you find everything? You can find lessons one of two ways. Either you can go to the modules link up here on the left, or you can click on the weeks as they're listed on the course homepage. So for example, if we just go to the modules, you have a course orientation module which shows you some basics for how to use Canvas, course expectations, things like that. You want to make sure that you complete your Guidelines for Success quiz relatively early in the class so that you don't get dropped. Then the way I've laid everything out, the writing assignments for the course you can find in their own separate module here at the top. And then each week's modules, you find 1 week at a time. So week 1, you're going to have your week 1 lecture, week 1 discussion board. You want to participate in those. The discussion boards, you want to make your first post by Thursday, and any follow-up posts that you need to do, make those by Sunday. The next week will usually unlock on either a Saturday or Sunday. So for example, first week is open, second week will unlock at August 30th. Finally, I wanted to answer some common student questions here at the end. Common question is, how is my grade determined? You can think of your grade as a pie that you break into 5 parts. Okay? Each of those 5 parts is worth 20% of your grade. So you have a first essay, you have a second essay, you have a midterm, you have a final, and then finally you have class participation. So each of those is worth 20% of your overall grade. You also have the opportunity to do a journal. In this case, we'll call it a research journal or practice journal. And that journal would replace one of the writing assignments, so either the first or the second. I'll have details on how to do the journal in a separate video. In general, your grade is determined as best 3 out of 5. So for example, if you had 3 A grades and 2 B grades, your final grade would end up being an A. Same thing if you had 3 B grades and 2 A grades, your final grade would end up being a B. Important to note, here at Golden West College, we do not use plus or minus grades, so the final grade would be an A, B, or a C, and so on. In order to earn a passing score in the course, so a C or better, in general, it's going to take 3 out of 5 passing scores. So for example, if you had passing scores on your participation, your paper, and one of the tests, that will generally be enough to pass the course. The one exception to this, however, and this is important to keep in mind, is that sometimes students do not turn in work. When work is not turned in, it goes into the gradebook as a 0, and oftentimes that can really interfere and mess up someone's grade. So really important to turn in work. The next question I often get is there a textbook for the course or anything that I have to buy? And the answer is, and this is really good news, I think, you don't have to buy any textbooks for the course. Every reading that we have is online for free. That's a nice thing about philosophy, actually. Lots of old books that are still very good that we still read. So to give you an example of where to find the reading, if you go to week 2, there's going to be a week 2 lecture. You have an overview, and then right here you'll find the reading for the week here. And so for week 2, it's going to be Plato's Dialogue, the Crito. Click on the link, and that'll take you to the Gutenberg.org page. And here you have all the options that you could want. So Kindle, if you just want to read the book online in HTML format, and so on. Finally, here at the end, we want to talk a little bit about how to get the most out of this class. So I'll take it from here. I think the biggest thing, the first thing is, do your best with the readings. So what that means is you're sometimes not going to understand something the first time you read it. Philosophy is weird like that. Sometimes you have to read something multiple times. And we'll see this in class. Sometimes I'll just have us do what I call multiple reps at something, okay? But the point is, try it. Give it a try. And even if you come to class realizing you don't understand it, that's okay. We're going to work on it together. My second suggestion is just to try to do a little bit every day. I think sometimes we can develop a bad habit in college where we think we can just, we do work on other stuff during the week, we don't read, things pile up, and then we're forced into a situation where we have to cram a lot at the last minute. Instead of that, let's try working on things just a little bit every day. So, try to make some time, if it's 30 minutes or 20 minutes or 10 minutes, just to do a little bit of reading or writing or working on your journal, things like that. And I think you'll find that if you do a little bit every day, it adds up over time, and that helps us all. 3, well, this goes along with number 2, do the research journal. Again, I'm going to explain how that works in a separate video, but it's really that idea. You want to just do something every day related to the class so we can try to get a little bit better at it. 4, investigate more sources outside of class. Really, one way to think about it is you want to make this class your own. I'm the teacher of the course, but think of me more like a facilitator or a project manager. The project here is we're trying to learn as much as we can about philosophy, and so how can I help you do that? But really, this is an introduction to the topic, and so what I would say is that if you get curious about something, if something grabs your attention, look for more resources about it. Find out more about it. I don't know, maybe you read Plato's Dialogues and you really enjoy the dialogue form and you want to read more dialogues. I say go for it. You have, I don't know if you need my permission, but you've got my permission. Go for it. 5th tip, be active. So be on the lookout for tips and tricks that you can use in your own life. A lot of times people assume that philosophy is useless, right? They make philosophy jokes all the time about how useless philosophy is. How do you get a philosophy student to leave your porch? Pay them for the pizza. But I think what I would say is this, that philosophy is one of those disciplines where if you have the attitude that it's useless, then you're going to find what you're expecting to find. On the other hand, if you go into this with the attitude that maybe it can be applicable, maybe it can be useful, guess what? You'll find some things that you can use. So just have a good attitude as you do it. Finally, I would say be critical, but also be helpful. One way I like to think about our conversations, it's a bit like a potluck. If you've ever been to a bad potluck, what's that like? I don't know, only one person brings an old bag of chips and it's not very good and there's nothing to eat. But have you ever been to a really good potluck? I know I have. Everybody brings something wonderful and there's way more than enough to eat and everybody has a great time. So I like to think of our conversations like that. Ask yourself each time, what can I bring to the conversation? What do you find interesting? What did not make sense? Are there other perspectives that maybe we didn't consider? So bring all that stuff, and I guarantee you we're going to have a great time talking about philosophy every week. Again, thank you for listening. I appreciate your time. Thank you for taking the course, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.